Hi, I hope you're mentally well and I hope you're physically well. If this is your fourth or fifth time back, subscribe because you like it here. If you want to see my videos up and down your algorithm, like this video. Uh, this is another video by Sabi Subs about the changes to TikTok. So let's see what's going on.
You most probably have heard this.
Oh, we don't care
The
about your
disease
ads,
runs in my
man.
family. But here is the truth.
Oh, I don't care.
Zionism and Israel.
We made a change to designate the use of.
After that takeover, there was immense censorship. Let's keep it moving and grooving. I have a good news story coming in. Bam, bam, bam. So, if you are not aware, TikTok has officially been sold to Larry Ellison. And after that takeover, there was immense censorship on TikTok, even to the point where people were getting zero views.
Damn.
TikTokers that have been booming, all of a sudden their videos weren't shown to anyone. Now, one of the changes, of course, was pro Israel. I want to bring this in here so you can see this is the new CEO of TikTok, and I want you to hear what he said about the new takeover.
Watch TikTok's new CEO admit they changed TikTok to punish Americans for criticizing Zionism and Israel.
We made a change to designate the use of the term Zionist as a proxy for a protected attribute as hate speech. So if somebody were to use Zionist, of course you can use it in the sense of you're a proud Zionist, but if you're using it in the context of degrading somebody, calling somebody a Zionist as a dirty name, then that gets designated as hate speech.
So
So you're not a free on TikTok. You're not free to disagree with Zionists. Which is not a race. This is just crazy, man. The freest country in the Middle East. Shut up, man.
a little bit confused because either you're calling yourself a Zionist, but you don't want other people to call you a Zionist, or they can't call you a Zionist in a negative way. Again, what happened to free speech? So this, I'm just confused. This is confusing to me. But here we are. Make up your mind.
To be moderated against. We tripled the amount of accounts that we were banning for hateful activity. We also have, I think, over 24 Jewish organizations that are constantly feeding us intelligence and information when they spot violative trends.
Why do you think Zionists work hard to suppress Americans' free speech?
And ladies and gents, that is the new TikTok. So many of us have left TikTok. I deactivated my account.
This is blatantly George Orwell 1984. It's crazy. I can't believe
removed the
it.
TikTok app off my phone, and I'm going to show you why that's important as well. It's not just the censorship, it's the new tracking and the new terms of agreement that you had to agree to that is causing other people to flee as well. But there's a rainbow at the end of this story. Now, Bernie Sanders is calling this out as well. He said, thanks to Trump right wing multi billionaire Larry Ellison, will now control the TikTok algorithm along with CBS,
What?
MTV, the Free Press, BET,
The free press.
CMT, Simon and Schuster, Nickelodeon,
Damn.
Paramount Plus, Pluto TV,
What
and
the
more.
hell?
This is what oligarchy looks like. So, first of all,
America, be quiet about
BET should be
freedom and
ashamed, huh?
democracy.
BET should be ashamed, but they're there.
I can't believe this. This one person owns all these channels. Crazy.
The Free Press, BET, CMT, Simon and Schuster, Nickelodeon, Paramount Plus, Pluto TV, and more. This is what oligarchy looks like. So, first of all, BET should be ashamed, huh? BET should be ashamed, but they're there. So everybody just pay attention to that. If you're watching these channels and all of a sudden it seems a little bit different.
For those who don't know, BET stands for Black Entertainment Channel. I don't even know if it's owned by black people, but it's owned by Jewish.
Bernie
It's owned by Zionists now.
leaves something out that journalist Ken Klippenstein did mention. Congress also played a role by forcing its sale in the first place. Yeah. And I remember under the Biden administration, I was complaining about that. Many were saying, like, what the hell are you doing? Don't sell TikTok, like, leave it alone. TikTok was fine the way that it was. Once the US decided to.
China's the enemy, yeah, but they never had none of this crap when they owned it. And then all of a sudden, now I understand why Trump interfered. It's crazy.
Come in and say, well, we're going to own TikTok, everything went downhill. But it was pushed by Congress. Everybody remember that? And then Donald Trump came in right before he started his presidency and said, I'm going to bring TikTok back. And then he looked like the hero and people were pointing fingers at the Democrats and all that type of stuff. This was bipartisan. So you had Congress that went along with it. Now, here's the big plus. TikTok users are deleting the app with removals up 150% following the U.S. joint venture. And that's not an exaggeration. I'll tell you where we're all going. TikTok users have been deleting the app at a higher rate since the company announced that its U.S. operations would be housed in a new joint venture.
Good.
I'm going to reword this. They've been leaving at a higher rate since the company announced that it was now owned by Larry Ellison, and he increased censorship and tracking information. The daily average of U.S. users deleting the TikTok app has increased nearly 150% over the past 5 days compared to the previous 3 months. That is according to market intelligence firm Sensor Tower. Some users took to social media to voice their skepticism about the new joint venture after being prompted to agree to an updated privacy policy. Yeah, and it was not good. It goes on to say here, several social media posts pointed to language in the new policy that describes the type of data TikTok may collect, including sensitive information such as your racial and ethnic origin, your sexual life or sexual orientation, status as transgender, non-binary, citizenship or immigration status, or financial information. Now, why does an app that became pretty popular because people were doing dance moves on there, why do they need that information? It's just more surveillance, just more way to keep tabs on you. So my recommendation to everyone watching, get that app off your phone. They are tracking you. So pay attention to that. The financial information part is really scary. Despite the social media uproar, the language does not appear to be new. An archived version of the policy from August 2024 includes the same provisions. These concerns appear to have weighed on sentiment around the app after the announcement of the joint venture, contributing to a spike of uninstalls over the past several days. And here is something else that TikTok was doing. They quietly expanded ad targeting and location tracking for US users. Users must accept the new terms to continue using the app. Precise GPS data collection is now allowed if device location services are enabled. And on platform activity can inform off-platform ad targeting. To limit exposure, US users can disable precise location access and personalize ads in setting. Again, why do they need to know where we are? Why do they need to track you? You know, back in the day, when Edward Snowden said the government was spying on the people, and of course they were using these tools not just to target their enemies, and we use enemies lightly on this show, but to watch all of you. And there were a number of people that were angry at Edward Snowden.
Yeah.
But now we see a lot of these things are more exposed. Again, why do they need to know where you are, where you're located? Well, Gavin Newsom decided to jump into this. He said, it's time to investigate. I'm launching a review into whether TikTok is violating state law by censoring Trump critical content. He is responding to this post here from Tory that says, so the agreement for TikTok to sell its U.S. business to GOP-backed investors was finalized a few days ago. And now you can't mention Epstein. That's another
This
thing
is
you
crazy,
can't mention.
man.
Let me put this up here. They said Epstein, and it said this message may be in violation. So you can't mention Epstein. And another thing that people have been showing screenshots of is that you can't speak critically, I guess, too critically about Donald Trump and the Trump administration. So let's put all these things together. You can't criticize Zionism, can't criticize Israel, can't mention Epstein, can't criticize
This
Donald
stinks.
Trump's administration. So you know what this is really all about. That's the level of censorship. However, what is notable about Gavin Newsom's comment here, he wants to launch an investigation into whether TikTok is violating state law by censoring Trump critical content, but he doesn't want to launch an investigation to see if TikTok is censoring Israel critical content or Epstein content, or even mentioning Epstein's name. Why is it only that he wants to look at, oh, well, you can't say critical things about Trump? That's as far as Gavin Newsom will go. I'm telling you guys right now, look, come 2028, people are going to do what they want to do. But come 2028, I'm telling you right now, Gavin Newsom on this show is already dead on arrival. I'm telling you right now. So please do not come to me and say, Sabby, you need to support Gavin Newsom. I'm going to laugh at you.
Your species into
Oh, come
livestock.
on.
You outsourced survival to machines until no hand brought labor.
Because he's only willing to go so. This is who he is. That's who he is. Candace Owens picked up on it as well. Bibi Netanyahu on camera. We need to take over TikTok so we can control minds and censor content for Israel. Gavin Newsom. I will investigate TikTok to see if they are censoring content for Trump. Left and right, our politicians are cowards. And I think I responded to this somewhere where I said, well, Gavin Newsom isn't left. But the reality is that both parties are controlled by their donors, and that's who they work for. And I'm glad more people are calling that out. Because in the end, that's really what it is. Here's another one that shows you can't mention Epstein. Days after the U.S. took over majority ownership of TikTok, the word Epstein has been censored. So multiple accounts are showing you can't mention that guy. I thought Nico said something here that was pretty funny about them censoring this word Zionist. Listen to this.
Okay, so I'm confused. I thought Zionists were proud to be Zionists. So if you don't feel guilty for the label that you are calling yourself, why would you then designate that word as hate speech? I mean, literally all over social media, y'all, these people refer to themselves as proud Zionists. And according to you all, it just means that Israel has a right to exist, right? So are you proud to be a Zionist? And do you want people to refer to you as a Zionist? Or is calling you a Zionist a form of hate speech and you're offended by it? Because it can't be both, my guy. You see this right here, TikTok?
Very clear.
That's why everybody moving to up scroll. We all knew this was coming whenever that Zionist billionaire bought this shit. We knew it was coming. Y'all can't even get your story straight. Y'all don't even know if y'all like being called Zionists or not. We don't know what to post anymore. So we just gonna leave. How about that? But y'all still Zionists though. I don't care if you call it hate speech. Y'all still Zionists.
Yeah, it does not make any sense. It's like you don't want to be called a Zionist. You do want to be called a Zionist. I'm just really
This is
confused here.
nonsense,
But at the end of
but
the
scary.
day, we moved on. We moved on to an app called Upscrolled. I'm there. You can find a bunch of people, not just me, but a lot of other people that are on there. All your faves that were on TikTok, some of the accounts that you follow on Twitter, we all moved over to Upscroll. And Upscroll, it says time to scroll differently. Shadow banned elsewhere? Not here. Upscroll is the social platform where
Upscroll
every
is show.
voice gets equal power. No shadow.
Upscroll is showing shade, yeah. Upscroll is showing shade, yeah.
No algorithmic games, no pay to play favoritism, just authentic connection where your content reaches the people who matter most. Join the switch everyone's making. Join Upscrolled. And Upscrolled was created by a Palestinian American. That's where we're at, folks. So if you're wondering what happened to everybody, that's where we're at. And since Larry Ellison took over TikTok, Upscrolled is on the up and up. It is now the most downloaded app. It rose that quickly because people said, hell to the no. I am out of here. Your favorite guy, Guy Christensen, he was one of the first people I saw promoting Upscrolled. He gives the news here for you.
Guys, it's happening. A Palestinian-owned social media platform called Upscrolled is #2 in the world trending on X,
Good.
Twitter, and Instagram, with hundreds of thousands of users fleeing their platforms to go to Upscrolled because it promises no censorship and no billionaires controlling you. What better way to say F you to Larry Ellison for buying TikTok than putting a Palestinian-led social media platform at #1 spot? At the #1 spot, we need to be spreading the word, representing
I hope
Upscrolled,
it
and telling
overtakes
everyone
TikTok.
that we're
I
going to
really
Upscrolled,
hope it
no matter
overtakes
what platform,
TikTok.
because all these platforms are controlled by the same ring of like-minded billionaires. I'm on there. I just hit 40K. You can find me. My username is GUY. Tell everyone, tell your friends, tell the whole internet. Thank you, and free Palestine. Guys.
Yeah, man, we're gonna drop the beat, and I know we haven't done it in a while, but we gotta drop the beat for Upscroll. They had us.
Oh, ads. Go away, ads, man.
Had us. They thought they could keep us down, but we have other options. And go on over. Ooh. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, they thought they had us. They thought they could keep us down, but we have other options. And go on over there. Like when I signed up the other day, it was a lot of traffic coming in at once. So it took a minute for me to like refresh and things like that. But if you use TikTok and you use Twitter, it's similar to that type of platform, but that's where all of us went. So if you use TikTok a lot and you're wondering like, where did all these people go? What happened to them? We left. I removed it from my phone. I deleted my account. And again, you'll see it here. Suppressed News said, breaking, Upscrolled is currently the #1 social networking app in the US on Apple charts.
That's #1 in
Yeah.
Apple. Yes.
It is currently #4 on Apple's top downloaded Apple chart.
Okay.
Users are abandoning TikTok and migrating from other
That's
social media
awesome,
net
man.
apps. Again, Upscrolled in the house.
Imagine that guy must have been struggling and making his app here, trying to get up there, like working hard and stuff. And overnight, because these Zionists, they bought TikTok, his app out of nowhere starts like, obviously after his hard work, starts climbing and climbing to #2 and #1 on Apple. That's crazy.
Yeah, man. So come on over there and you'll see me and Nico and a bunch of your faves over there, ladies and gent. We don't need no TikTok. You don't need no TikTok. You can see people do dance moves on Upscrolled. People do dances on YouTube Shorts too. Like actually, now I think about it. So it's like, you don't need no tickety-tock. All right.
She's proper.
Cloudness said just got it. Yay! That's what I'm saying. They weren't expecting that. They were not
hope it-
expecting.
I hope
They said, well,
TikTok goes
everybody
bankrupt,
loves
man.
TikTok. They're not going anywhere. Surprise.
I don't use TikTok, but
Surprise.
um,
Palestinian Australian, I meant to say. But yeah, he started it because he lost, I think, over 50 of his family members. So, yeah. After that, is like, no, something has to
how can you
change.
lose?
Stranger than
How can you lose 50 of your family members, man? How? How do you lose 50? They just live in a whole different reality to us. 50 of your family members? Most people in the West don't even have 50 of our family members that we're in contact with regularly, man. We don't even have 50 of our family members that we're in contact with regularly. So that just shows how close the community is, or how important families are in the Middle East and stuff. 50 of your family members? If, like, shut up, boy, man.
fiction, but it happened. Hey guys, this was a savvy clip. If you like what you saw, hit that like button and subscribe.
You see that channel, subscribe.
At Wickes, the decorating event is now on. Save on